I'm Catherine Galia, founder of Unlock Your Purpose, empowerment coach, mindfulness teacher, and energy healer. Thank you for joining me today. And now that we are starting to slowly go out of lockdown, I would like to share another part of my story of what happened during lockdown and how I've dealt with it, how I've turned the frustration, the challenge of being into lockdown, which was turning into a frustration, into a purpose, and where I am today with what I have done. So, in mid-March, basically Cyprus went on a lockdown, a strict lockdown, yes. Schools were closed, and therefore I had my daughter 24 hours with me. I was hoping that at that time, as we started settling in our routine in Cyprus, we've permanently moved, household was in order, I was finding my way, daughter was settled at school, I could start really focusing on my work, on my vision, on what I want to create whilst I am here. So, but as they say, God laughs at our plans, because lockdown came, pandemic, so I was suddenly, oh, what am I going to do? I don't have the time to work on what I want to create, because whilst she's supposed to do at school time, I create what I want to do. I focus, I create, whatever I need to do. So, okay, first few days I was okay with it. Of course, I was working on accepting and trusting what needs to happen, and okay, I was managing. But I was facing another personal challenge in the meantime, and that was taking a lot of energy out of me, and I was not feeling great, so I was feeling even more frustrated then. I continued with my meditation, with my spiritual practice, and hoping that, and I practiced IMFT, hoping that things will improve. But obviously the pain was there, the frustration was there, hurt, I was a bit hurt, upset, and there was something which I realize now, it was more than just frustration. It was something within me, it was locked, suppressed, that wanted to go out there, to be out there, wanted to be expressed in some form or another. But I felt I couldn't, because my time is all taken now. There's no time for me to create and do whatever I need. So it was a tough time. I just usually continued to sit on my yoga mat every morning, persisting with my spiritual practice, meditation, yoga, reflection, EFT, trusting, and also, yes, being positive, because I enjoyed, in the meantime, I enjoyed being in the garden, I enjoyed doing some creations with my daughter, but I knew there was something not quite right. So whilst I was doing all the spiritual work, I was working with affirmations, visualizing what I want to create, and still then trusting and letting go the process. What happened? As I was at the state, but I was at the same time working on positivity and positive affirmation, clearing negativity, also listening to inspirational teachers. I think it's always a wonderful way that we can turn our life around. I was called to go into a mentoring process with a wonderful business leader, and so I did. I knew it was going to be hard, and I said, I'm just going to do it. This is for me, for myself, for what I want to create, and I think I need this. So it was something, a deep call within me that I didn't even know what it was, but I just felt, I had this gut feeling that this mentoring program will help me to get out of this stuckness, this frustration I had. So I listened to it. This is what happens when you listen. I listened to it. And here I go. I started around 2 weeks ago. I've realized it's harder work than I thought, but it unlocked certain resources within me that they were there and they're just waiting for me to go ahead. So I had this courage that gave me the courage, something that gave me the courage to go ahead with this mentoring course, unlocked a lot of resources within me. I started focusing. I started disciplining myself. I said, yes, I'm going to make the time for myself to do what I need to do. I started writing an ebook, which is now ready to be published. And so watch the space, you'll soon see it online. I've nearly, with the help of a wonderful website developer, I've also nearly now finished my website, and we're finishing it off and we're soon launching it. And I've created also a unique coaching program that I'm soon launching. In fact, I will launch during a webinar where I will share what it is about and how it can help women. And I also been doing a lot of groundwork, preparing also for a book that I want to write. And I've been speaking online in different meetings about how we can unlock our purpose, how we can be happy, fulfilled, and successful by transforming our lives and do the work that we are meant to do in just 2 weeks. So what I've been wanting to do for some things for 6 years and some things for the last 2 years, I've been wanting to create a coaching program. That's something that comes out from within me for at least 2 years. But I've always found excuses that I could not do it. And I've been wanting to do the website for 6 years. And I didn't do it because things came in the way. But during lockdown, so these are the opportunities that can come out of frustration, out of the things that we were not hoping for. So yes, God laughs at our plans because his plan was to lock me down, start feeling frustrated, and then get the courage to do what I need to do with myself. And once I started doing what I needed to do with myself, this frustration started to vanish. And I felt that there is a certain flow coming out of me, and I felt more sure of the work that I'm doing. And now I have so much more clarity because I got disciplined, I got the focus, I got the consistency, and I got the commitment. And this is thanks to lockdown. So through visualization, through a solid foundation of spiritual practice, I've turned this around. And I got involved in creating what I want to do. So this is what I wanted to share, how we can turn frustrations into a positive situation, something that is actually a purpose, something that is going to serve us and serve the people around us. And it takes courage, consistency, and commitment, but we can do it. And for you, it might not actually be something like I did. Your circumstances are different, but it might be an opportunity to turn this challenge, this frustration, into more time for yourself, or more time into being, not just always wanting to be active to do something. So it depends on where you are. But what I suggest is take the time to see how you can turn this frustration. Because we can. If I did it, you can do it too. And there are many other people on this planet who turned challenges, pain, frustrations, difficult situations into a powerful purpose. In fact, I am going to share with you a story of my friend who actually gave me the permission to share her story, Sharon Cousins. Sharon Cousins is a wonderful, inspirational woman. She has been to a divorce, and that pain of divorce has been now transformed into a published book. How? She has 2 children, and through helping her own children to deal with overcoming the trauma of a divorce, they came out of it as inspired and empowered entrepreneurs, her own children. And then they came to share the tools that they discovered for themselves to help them, the skills, the tips in a book that is now published. That is now actually published, and I want to show you the cover of the book. Okay, so this is the cover of the book. Universal language, the language of the soul. And if you would like, because I really recommend this book, it's a self-help book for parents, for educators, to help children who are going through difficulties, not just trauma of divorce. And you can look at it at her website, innerexcellenceacademy.com. So do have a look. Sharon is now the creator of, she's actually the founder of Spring Productions International, where she runs an academy for inner excellence. So this is what really came out of this situation as well. And she's creator of Spring Film Therapy. Love will find a way. This is also her story, how she transformed her story. And she also inspired me to create my own film. I'm doing my own film, which is a brilliant therapeutic model. Through a film, we can heal ourselves and also move forward, because that is the idea. We heal and we move forward. So, yes, I gave you an example of my story and an example of another wonderful woman who's been through a difficult story, a difficult challenge, and she transformed it into a purpose through this published book. And it doesn't, of course, have to be a published book or something grand. It can be something small, but transformed into a purpose. Something that can help you grow personally, or see things in a different way, or else serve others. Because when we serve others, our pain takes a different meaning, takes a different shape. So yes, I do recommend to you that if you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling out of center, reflect, how can I make this situation a purposeful situation? And just ask, don't expect any result, and things will come on their own, as it happens to me, because I don't really know how everything happened, but because I've trusted the process, I visualized what I want, I started creating powerful affirmation, an opportunity came to me to work on myself and to focus on what I create, and that's what I'm doing. So now, how do you actually go through this? So I want to share with you what can you do. So if you are in this place today, my advice for you, it is not about pushing something to happen. I did not push it to happen. I've just worked on a solid foundation, my meditating, doing yoga, creating affirmations, visualization, and allowing it to happen. I've detached from it. I let it go. I've done the things that I had to do: the gardening, cooking, playing with my daughter, cleaning. So I just did that, and suddenly the opportunity came. My eyes were open enough to see that opportunity and grab it. So what you need is a solid foundation. And what do I mean by a solid foundation? Solid foundation includes meditation, any form of meditation that works for you. I use different techniques, from mindfulness to visualizations to journeying, which are a bit deeper. I use also energy clearing techniques, including emotional freedom technique and Reiki. Yoga is also a solid foundation. It gives us a solid foundation. It's a pillar of strength. And any form of mindful movements like Tai Chi, chakra dance in my case, and Qigong, grounding exercises to keep us centered and balanced, creating boundaries. This has been a big lesson for me, to create boundaries. So when we learn to create boundaries, we're building a solid foundation. And obviously, these are all self-care practices. So take care of yourself, and take care of yourself meaning build a solid foundation. That's the best self-care tool you can do for yourself. Build a solid foundation through the tools I mentioned: yoga, meditation, movement, grounding, and boundaries are example, and energy techniques. Also, focus on what would you like to create. So ask yourself, what would I like to create? Visualize and create affirmations. So next time, I think what I would do, now I'm getting this inspiration whilst I'm talking around, chatting around, to share with you a visualization exercise and also some affirmations that will help you to go forward wherever you need, whatever that means for you going forward. So, okay, so we have solid foundation and we have visualization and affirmation 2. 3, observe, become an observer. Notice any opportunities and ask yourself, what are the baby steps, even if it's tiny, what are the baby steps that I can take today? Just do them without any expectation. And so detach and let go. So these are 3 simple ways of how you can turn these frustrations into a purpose. So most importantly, number 1, have a solid foundation. 2, ask yourself, what would I like to create? So forget the frustration, forget all the limits that you are feeling you have, but imagine that there are no limits, there are no boundaries, and go in that place and create a visualization and some affirmations or mantras, whatever you want to call them, around it, and let it go. Also, the 3rd one, observe any opportunities that come along. Observe. Observation is key. And ask yourself, what are the baby steps that I can take today? Of course, very important, a very important spiritual practice is to trust, to allow, and to let go. Of course, being open to notice, to observe. Because you need to take action, of course. Eventually, like I did, you will need to take some form of an action. But the action comes natural, not pushing it. It's like it flows naturally. It's like it's the natural thing to do. But because you've been noticing and observing, you'll be ready to go with it, to go with the flow and take the right action. So I've shared with you my story today. I've shared with you another person's story, how we can turn frustrations, challenges into a powerful purpose, and whatever that purpose might mean. It doesn't have to be anything grand. It could be that your purpose at the moment is to learn to just be quiet and silent rather than rushing around, because this is a big lesson for some for lockdown. And how we can turn these frustrations into a purpose by I've shared with you 3 things that you can do. Build a solid foundation. Ask yourself, what would I like to create if there are no limits? Visualize and affirm. And number 3, observe, notice what can come into your energy field around you. What are the baby steps that you can take today without pushing, just allowing it to happen naturally. And of course, it's important to be able to observe and notice, to remain in the present moment. So this is what I wanted to share with you, my little bit of experience and what I've learned from turning a frustration into a powerful purpose. As I shared with you, I'll soon be launching my website and also my ebook, which I will be sharing on social media. And this is, yes, I do have the book cover. It's not very clear, yes, because of the reflection. 5 strategies to transform yourself and start loving your life now. It's ready to go once the website is up and running. I'll also be running a webinar on how to unlock your purpose, and this is a combination of my experience as a coach, my own life experience, the journeys I've been through, how we can actually unlock our purpose and start loving our life as we go along. And it's also an opportunity to become who we really are whilst we unlock our purpose. So wishing you a lovely happy weekend. Stay cool for those who are in the warmer countries. In Cyprus it's going up to 35 degrees Celsius tomorrow, so we need to stay really cool, hydrated. Thanks for watching and wishing you a peaceful, happy weekend. Thank you. Bye bye.